demo for my pop-up handler framework for UiPath. As the name suggests, the purpose of this framework is to handle pop-up dialog boxes that could occur during your workflow that could otherwise interrupt your workflow, and hopefully handle those in a way that will prevent your workflow from being interrupted and throwing errors as a result of those pop-ups. I've attempted to make this handler as easy and straightforward as possible so that anyone, no matter how new to UiPath, can use it. So what we're going to have right here, this message box is simply going to tell me when the process is complete. We have the pop-up handler. Each of these flowcharts is a separate pop-up that I want to be handled. And the flowchart itself is very simple. It's a pop-up exists activity followed by an if activity with a click button if that pop-up does exist. I'll show you how to program one of these here in a second, but it's in a tight infinite loop, and that tight infinite loop is going to continue playing for as long as your primary workflow is running. Now, your primary workflow could be whatever you need it to be. In my case, I'm just going to be opening several Excel files, but yours could be doing literally whatever you need it to be doing. At the end of that workflow, within that same part of the parallel, you then assign a Boolean, or in my case I'm using a Boolean, as the exit pop-up handler equal to true. And what that is it's the completion condition for my parallel activity. So that's what's going to kick the parallel activity out so that it knows it's done with pop-up handling once you've completed your primary workflow. So I'm going to run this. It's going to ask me for a folder path where I've saved some Excel files. I want to use it for my example. And then it's going to go ahead and run this. This is, again, just to show how this pop-up handler works. I do have a 2-second delay and the mouse actually moving to the button it's pressing in this one, just to show you that it actually is clicking on the buttons I expect it to. Now, this particular screen right here, I thought this was an important example because right now it doesn't look like there's any pop-up dialog boxes, but this is kind of a real-life example because even though it doesn't seem like there's anything going on right here, I could have a workflow working in this document. After 30 seconds right now, Microsoft is going to throw me an error that says I need to activate Microsoft Office. You saw it right there. If I was working along in my process, that came up, that would have completely messed up my workflow. So that's just kind of a real-life situation of when this sort of thing could come in handy. Now, I also am going to quickly show you how to program for some sort of pop-up. This is sort of a slightly different example. In my last example, I had the Excel files opening, and so it was kind of a fully automated process. This one I've called my agent-assisted process, and so I've put a monitor activity here instead of a workflow. And so what this is going to do is it's going to wait for the user to press Control and this little squiggly symbol. Up until that point, it's going to handle all of the pop-ups that I've included over here indefinitely until the user selects those. So I'm going to quickly add an additional pop-up blocker. We're going to call this one Google Forms, because right here I have a Google form, and if I type something in here and then attempt to navigate away from this page, it's going to throw me this message saying, are you sure you want to leave this page? So I'm just going to very quickly show you how. If I indicate on the screen, this is the message I'm looking for. I could have selected any UI element on there that was a good indicator of this specific message. Next, in this if pop-up exists, I'm going to say, let's go ahead and press the stay on this page button if it does encounter this error. Now I'm going to play this and just show you how that works. So I have started the robot. If I click the X to leave right now, I don't even have time to get down there. The robot is pressing that button for me. The Excel files that I had earlier would work exactly the same. If I were to open Excel file 1, it had a little error pop up right there. It was handled immediately. Similarly, if I take a screenshot of something, attempt to leave that, it asks me if I want to save, and UiPath presses cancel.